Oh, man, is this ever frustrating. We got JR, the cookbook guy, the announcer from the WWE, and I've lost my voice. Help me out here, JR.
What a whip. Ladies and gentlemen, no holds barred today on Off the Record. Landsberg, if he limps out, if he wimps out, don't worry, JR will be here. And I've got one thing to say to you. Listen very closely. Let's get it on.
The Record with Michael Landsberg is brought to you by the Cake Steakhouse and Bar. For great steaks, good friends, see you tonight.
You know, my voice is going, and one of the reasons I think is JR, Jim Ross, punched me in the throat right before this interview to get a leg up. Is that the case?
I'm sorry. I can't control myself. Too much coffee.
You are the Senior VP of Talent Relations, and as I said on your first appearance in this show, I think you are an awesome announcer, one of the greatest at what you do in the world today. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you, Michael.
Last time you were on the show, I'm not sure that you were as candid as you wanted to be. Were you a little bit guarded the first time?
Maybe.
You were guarded in the question about being guarded. How about that?
Maybe, you know, you want to be careful not to hurt anybody's feelings. In my role, you don't want to alienate your troops. So I might have been.
Okay.
But today, I'm ready.
Okay. Well, then let's talk about one of your guys. And I know you don't want to alienate him, but what's your evaluation of Bill Goldberg? So far, his return, the reviews have been quite mixed.
Big Jewish fella. Big guy. I've known Billy since he was a defensive tackle at Tulsa Edison High School. And then I was on the Falcon broadcast team, the Atlanta Falcons, that is, of the National Football League in 1992, and Billy was a backup defensive tackle. So I've known Bill in a lot of different ways before he got into wrestling. And I think that the expectations probably, by our own admission, and certainly apparently by the fans, was a little high.
Right, because you guys are looking for the next guy to take you to the next level, and you were hoping when you went to Japan to get a guy who financially probably you had a tough time giving him incentive because he's got so much damn money. You went out there, you pay him a lot of money, so your expectations really were to give you the next Rock or something like that, right?
Yeah, and we wanted to replicate that streak that he was on in the heyday of Nitro in the old Turner era, and that's hard to do. It's hard to go back and retrace history. And then we thought about trying to expand his character and add a little humor, and that didn't really work as well as it was envisioned on the drawing board. So I think our expectations probably run fairly high, but we have to get Goldberg back in the character that made him Goldberg, and that is an animal, less talk, you know, grunt a little bit, talk a little bit, but get your work done in the ring.
One of the things that the WCW did with him was they kept his matches really short, 5-minute matches, and therefore you see all of the good and not so many of the weaknesses, which everyone has admitted that he has.
Well, he's not a slick catch-as-catch-can chain wrestling guy. He's a power guy, and they also kept somewhat of a unique Goldberg mystique, and we wanted to, I guess, reinvent Goldberg. I don't know that he needed to be reinvented.
Was that a mistake then, maybe?
Maybe in hindsight. I think so. Probably in hindsight.
How do you fix it?
You get back to what brought you to the dance, and you put him back in the mode and the characterization that got him recognized to begin with. I think we're taking some steps to do that. His issues with Chris Jericho have been very helpful to Bill because Jericho is so entertaining, so talented, that it allows Goldberg to grow. And I thought their Bad Blood match was exceptionally good, especially for Bill.
One of the things that the WWF at the time and now the WWE said is that you never wanted to be WCW. But you got a lot of WCW guys and a lot of older guys in there who you're kind of hanging your hat on with the Hulk and Ric Flair and Roddy Piper, all over 50 years of age and all making big money. Are you concerned at all about duplicating the issues that I think brought the WCW down?
I think that we have to be very careful who we allocate spotlight to. I think that we have to be very cognizant that for us to grow and to get to the promised land, that we have to grow with youth. I think we have to use the established guys to get the rub, as they say in the business, to the younger guys. I thought that a recent episode of Raw kind of indicated that with Randy Orton getting a spotlight, some of the younger guys. So I think that we have to be very careful. There's a lot of things we balance. We balance action and talk. We balance in-ring things and backstage things. And we have to balance who gets the spotlight, the old guys or the young guys, and the right blend.
Let me throw out some names, and already I'm feeling a candor here that I didn't see before last time. That's awesome. Let's talk about Booker T. We get a ton of emails from people saying that he should be the next big guy. Why isn't he bigger?
I think that we're in the process of making Booker T bigger. I think that Booker T right now is, from my experience with other talents, is on a chase. He's chasing Christian in the Intercontinental title, and there's something about human nature where the underdog or the hero, when he's on the trail of his goal, sometimes it's like dating. The chase is better than the conquest. At least it has been in my lifetime, but that's another story for a late night.
Hey, no, we'll push this one back. We can wait.
And so I think Booker T is his time is imminent. So there is a definite focus that let's elevate Booker T.
Sting, have you talked to him? His name's been out there.
I haven't talked to Sting since last year. We had some over a couple of 3-week period. We had 4 or 5 conversations about coming in and joining us. You know, he's real involved in the Promise Keepers, a religious organization, or as you say, Michael, organization.
Is that what I say? Organization.
What you say?
Well, you could put him with Shawn Michaels because he's quite involved with religious organizations as well.
Exactly. Sting has saved his money.
The Holy Rollers. There you go.
He made a lot of there you go. He made a lot of money. He's got a young family, young children. He likes being home. So if we are able to do a deal with him somewhere down the road, which I would like, by the way, I would.
How about Savage?
I don't think he'll be back, but that's just my opinion. You never say never. This crazy business, but I don't see him fitting in right now with where we should go.
If we would have had this conversation 2 years ago, a year ago, and I would have said, well, how about Sable? Would you have said, no, I don't think she'll ever be back?
I probably would have said never say never, but probably not. And I'm the one that hired her back because Creative had something for her. You know, she did sue us for sexual harassment. I think for just only $10 million. She didn't win a dime. She sued us for her name.
So how do you let her back in? I mean, most industries wouldn't. Or is it simply the business philosophy, which is if the people want her, let's bring her in, even if we don't like her?
When you have a primary demographic of males 18 to 34 and young men 12 to 17, with Sable's obvious attributes, you have to look at it. And you look at it, as a matter of fact, very thoroughly sometimes. But I think that we do what's best for the product. And we believe, Vince and I, that she could come back and contribute to our product. So you forgive and forget, and you give people second chances. You know, I've got a second chance with this company. I was fired here twice. So I'm glad for second chances.
Let's talk about second chances, and I want to ask you about Trish Stratus later on. But second chances, how about Mick Foley?
You have no chance with Trish Stratus, by the way.
I have no chance with Trish Stratus?
So your second chance is your last chance, your history with her.
Really? So I blew my first chance?
Bingo.
All we did was put her on this show, and all of a sudden the WWE looks at her and they say she's pretty good. So we have a good thing. Before I'm done,
she also asked me to tell you to quit calling.
To quit calling her?
Ixnay the calls.
Oh, this interview has just turned. You did the heel turn, man, and so am I. I got to ask you, Mick Foley. Is there any chance we could see him again doing his thing?
Yeah, I think so. Most definitely. I think
in the ring. In the ring.
In the ring, maybe on a reoccurring basis. I think there's a very distinct possibility that Mick will wrestle for us again, at least on a part-time basis. That's a perfect segue. We'll take a break. I want to talk to you about injuries, risks, assuming that risk, and your responsibility when OTR returns.